There is one year in your entire financial life that carries more hidden danger than any other. Not the year the stock market crashed, not the year you took out your mortgage, not even the year you lost your job. It is the year you turn 65. And most people have absolutely no idea what is about to hit them. You have spent 40 years doing everything right. You saved, you invested, you watched the market. Maybe you even picked up a little gold or silver along the way because you sensed something was off about the dollar. And now you are standing at the finish line. The calendar finally says 65. Medicare kicks in, Social Security feels close. The hard part is supposed to be over, but here is where things get dangerous. The year you turn 65 is not the finish line. It is the most financially complex, most legally intricate, most tax exposed, and most irreversible year of your entire retirement journey. Make the right moves, and your money protects you for 25 more years. Make the wrong ones, and we are not talking about small errors. We are talking about decisions that can cost you $100,000, $200,000, even more, in completely avoidable losses. Losses that happen quietly, legally, and without a single warning from the government that helped set the trap. If you want to understand exactly how this works, and more importantly, how to protect yourself from it, stay with me through this entire video. And if you find yourself nodding along because you are getting close to 65, or you have a parent or spouse who is, do them the biggest favor of their financial life and hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give you the kind of information the financial industry would rather you never find. Let us start with the thing that sounds like a gift. Medicare. You have been hearing about it your whole working life. You paid into it, you earned it, and at 65, it finally becomes yours. Most people assume they will just sign up when the time comes, maybe a month or two before their birthday, and everything will sort itself out. That assumption is one of the most expensive mistakes a 65-year-old can make. Here is what nobody tells you. Medicare has an enrollment window. It opens 3 months before your 65th birthday and closes 3 months after it. Miss that window, and people miss it more often than you would believe, and you face a permanent late enrollment penalty. Not a one-time fine. Permanent. For Part B, the penalty is 10% added to your premium for every 12-month period you were eligible but did not enroll. If you wait 2 years, that is a 20% penalty added to your Medicare premium for the rest of your life. For someone paying around $200 a month today, that is an extra $40 every single month, every year, until you die. Over 20 years of retirement, that is nearly $10,000 in penalties for a paperwork mistake. And the Medicare trap does not end there. Most people do not realize that if you're still working at 65 and covered by an employer health plan, the rules change completely. Whether your employer plan counts as creditable coverage, the size of your employer, and how your HR department files the paperwork, all determine whether you are protected from that penalty or not. This is a legal minefield sitting right at the entrance to your retirement. But that is only part of the story. Let us talk about Social Security, because this is where the real money is, and where the real traps are buried the deepest. You can claim Social Security as early as 62 or wait until 70. Most people know that waiting longer gives you a higher monthly benefit. What most people do not understand is the full mathematical magnitude of that decision, and how turning 65 puts you in the exact psychological danger zone where the wrong choice feels like the right one. Here's the scenario. You're 65. You're tired. Maybe your body is not what it was. Your spouse is asking when you're finally going to stop working. Your savings look decent, and Social Security is right there, 2 years away at 67, your full retirement age if you were born after 1960, or 5 years away if you are going to wait until 70. The temptation to just claim it early, to take the money now, is enormous. So let us run the numbers, because this is where people's jaws drop. Suppose your full retirement age benefit is $2,400 a month. If you claim at 62, you receive roughly $1,680 a month, a 30% reduction that lasts forever. If you wait until 70, you receive around $2,176 a month, a 24% bonus over your full benefit. The gap between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70 is nearly $1,300 a month, every single month for the rest of your life. Over 20 years of retirement, that is more than $300,000 in cumulative Social Security income. Gone. Because you felt tired at 65 and could not see past the next few months. Now, I want to be honest with you, because this channel does not do oversimplification. There are absolutely situations where claiming early makes sense if your health is poor, if you have no other income bridge, if the money is desperately needed. But for millions of Americans who are in reasonably good health at 65, the emotional pull of claiming early costs them more than almost any other financial decision they will ever make. And nobody is sitting across from them at a kitchen table running those numbers in real time. Here is what nobody is talking about right now in 2025, as we move through one of the most economically uncertain periods in modern retirement history. Social Security's trust funds are under serious pressure. The Social Security Board of Trustees has repeatedly warned that without legislative changes, the combined trust funds could be depleted within the next decade, which would trigger automatic benefit cuts of around 20 to 23% across the board. That means if you are claiming a reduced benefit today because you grabbed it early, and then a future cut hits, you could find yourself living on a fraction of what you planned for. The people who waited and built up the largest possible benefit are the ones with the most cushion when those political storms hit. But here's where it gets even more dangerous, because we have not talked about taxes yet. This is the part that genuinely shocks people. Most retirees believe that once they leave work, they are done being hammered by income taxes, and then 65 hits and they learn the truth. Social Security benefits are taxable. Up to 85% of your Social Security income can be subject to federal income tax, depending on what the IRS calls your combined income. Combined income includes your adjusted gross income, any non-taxable interest, and half of your Social Security benefits added together. If that number crosses $34,000 for a single filer or $44,000 for a married couple, a significant portion of your Social Security check goes right back to the government. Now layer in required minimum distributions. The IRS does not let you keep your 401k or traditional IRA money sitting untouched forever. Starting at age 73, you are legally required to withdraw a minimum amount each year, calculated based on your account balance and your life expectancy. Those withdrawals are counted as ordinary income. For someone with $800,000 in a traditional IRA, the RMD at 73 could easily be $30,000 or more in a single year. That income gets stacked on top of Social Security, potentially pushing you into a higher bracket and triggering taxes on benefits you spent decades believing were secure. This is a retirement tax trap that is perfectly legal, was built into the system intentionally, and catches millions of retirees completely off guard. Let me give you a real-world scenario to make this concrete. Picture a couple, both 65, both retired. They have $750,000 in traditional IRA accounts, a paid-off house, and they each plan to draw Social Security. Their combined Social Security income is about $42,000 a year. They have some interest from savings bonds. They think they are comfortable. They think their tax life is simple now. But then at 73, the RMDs kick in. Suddenly, they are pulling $28,000 a year from their IRA, whether they need it or not. That income is taxable. Their combined income calculation spikes. Now 85% of their Social Security is taxable. Their Medicare Part B premiums increase through something called IRM-OA, the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, because their income crossed a threshold. They did not plan for Roth conversions in their late 60s when their tax rate was lower. They did not think about drawing down the traditional IRA strategically before RMDs forced their hand. The result? They are paying tens of thousands of dollars more in taxes over their retirement than they ever had to, not because of bad luck, not because the market crashed, because of timing and decisions that felt invisible at 65, but were actually screaming for attention. And here's where precious metals enter the picture, because this is something this community understands deeply. In an environment where the dollar's purchasing power has declined more than 20% just since 2020, where federal debt has crossed $36 trillion, and where the political pressure on Social Security and Medicare is only growing, the retirees who are coming into 65 with some portion of their wealth in physical gold and silver are sitting in a fundamentally different position than those who are entirely dependent on paper assets and government promises. Gold hit new all-time highs above $3,000 an ounce in early 2025. Silver has been moving significantly as industrial demand from clean energy and technology continues to accelerate. These are not speculative plays. For someone at 65, a measured allocation to physical precious metals provides something that a 401k statement never can. A store of value that no government can inflate away, no bank can freeze, and no RMD schedule can force you to liquidate at the wrong time. The retirees who thought about this in their late 50s and early 60s, who quietly moved a portion of their savings into physical metal and held it, are watching the rest of the system crack and wondering why they were ever worried. The ones who said they would get around to it are now watching gold climb and calculating what they missed. That alone would be enough to reshape how you think about 65. But there is one more layer that almost nobody prepares for, and it might be the most emotionally devastating of all. Healthcare costs in retirement are staggering. Fidelity Investments has estimated that a couple retiring today at 65 will need approximately $315,000 set aside just to cover out-of-pocket healthcare expenses throughout retirement. That does not include long-term care. That does not include dental, vision, or hearing, which Medicare largely does not cover. That is $315,000 in addition to everything else. And if you need long-term care, a nursing home, an assisted living facility, in-home nursing, the national median cost for a private nursing home room is now over $100,000 a year. Medicare covers almost none of it beyond a very limited window. Medicaid requires that you spend down nearly all of your assets before qualifying. The people who planned for this are the ones who purchased long-term care insurance in their 50s or set up a specific asset strategy. Everyone else is hoping it does not happen to them. Hope is not a retirement strategy. We are living through an economic moment unlike anything most current retirees have ever faced. Inflation, while it has come off its peak, has permanently repriced everyday life. Groceries, utilities, property taxes, prescription drugs, insurance premiums, all of it has reset higher and is not coming back down. The Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA, has struggled to keep pace. In years where the COLA was 3%, but your actual grocery bill climbed 9%, you lost ground. Real purchasing power, real financial security, quietly eroded. And that erosion is especially brutal in the first year of retirement, when your spending patterns are being set and your financial psychology is making decisions that will echo for decades. Here is the bottom line. The year you turn 65 is not a celebration. It is a decision. Dozens of decisions, actually, stacked on top of each other, each one with consequences that compound over 20, 25, even 30 years. Medicare enrollment timing, Social Security claiming strategy, Roth conversion planning, RMD management, tax bracket awareness, healthcare funding, long-term care preparation, asset allocation, and inflation protection. Get them right, and 65 becomes the launch pad for the most financially secure chapter of your life. Get them wrong, and the financial system that you trusted, contributed to, and planned around will quietly extract wealth from you for the rest of your life without ever sending you a single warning. The good news is that none of these traps are unavoidable. They are avoidable, but only if you see them coming, only if someone sits down with the data and lays it out before you walk into that minefield. That is what this channel is here to do. Every week, this community gets the kind of financial intelligence that used to be reserved for people who could afford a $500 an hour advisor. Now it is right here every time you hit play. If this video opened your eyes to something you had not considered, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below. Tell me how far you are from 65, or what decision around this age has affected you most. Are you thinking about Social Security timing? Concerned about RMDs? Already protecting a portion of your wealth in physical metals? The conversation in the comments is one of the most valuable things about this community, so let us use it. Like this video, if it was worth your time, share it with someone who is approaching 65 and does not know what is coming, and subscribe if you want to keep getting information that actually matters. The next video is going to cover something that connects directly to everything we just discussed. What is actually happening to the dollar right now, why central banks around the world are quietly accelerating their gold purchases to record levels, and what that signals for every American retiree holding paper assets going into the next decade. You do not want to miss that one. Money Insight, protecting wealth through financial intelligence.